Doing all of these practices loosely, not forcing, not cranking, not jamming, but working on loose and free and easy. So I did just start the record, and I don't know if that pops up a little box on your screen. So if it did, yeah, okay, that's what you were doing, Keith. Anyway, you got to press got it rather than leave meeting. Sorry about that. All right, back to middle. Final one of these, just gentle recentering movements. We just lean to the right, lean to the left. Yeah, next time I'll start the recording earlier so we can get that all squared away. Sorry about that. Noticing that as you loosely move, this outer body can move without you ever losing center. Your center remains constant, or can remain constant. All right, shoulder blade movements. We go forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down, circles. Tension and rigidity in the chest, shoulder, back, neck region makes us top heavy and makes us easier to fall. Switch directions, back, up, forward now. So the looser and more buttery and relaxed you are through the chest and back and neck and shoulders, the more you can actually just be light and somewhat, you might say, empty in the upper body. And then you'll feel very connected to the earth through the legs. And done. All right. Head and neck. Chin down, chin up, down, up, down, and up. And then come back to middle and turn your head right. Back to middle, turn your head left. Two more each, right, left, right, and left. And then these soft circles, head just a little bit to the right and then around. Just make small, comfortable circles. Feel that lightness, that almost like a bobblehead lightness. Just really small, comfortable circles. And let your head hang in front. Bring it back up to middle and then go the other way, off to the other side, just light little circle. Loose. Free. On this last one, just let your head hang in front. And rise back up. Scoot a little bit back on your chair so you feel very stable. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Now, lift and push, return and lower, lift and push, turn and lower. So we want to get the brain energy through the leg. We want the movement to be all the way to the end, all the way to the end, back, down. One more here. This time, hold the foot, point and flex. Invert, evert. Circles. Other direction, circles. Switch leg. Up, out, point and flex. invert, evert, that little slight movement of the foot. Circles. And other direction, circles. Back to middle. Scoot again all the way to the front edge of your chair as much as you can. Swivel steps, lift ball of left foot, turn the leg out. Bring it back to neutral. Turn it in. Now let's just go out and in. Out, in. Toe comes along with the knee. The movement is happening at the ball and socket joint. The next time the toe is out, leave it out. Lift the heel a little bit. Turn the heel out, the knee in. Heel in, knee out. Heel out, knee in. Heel in, knee out. Now, heel out, leave it out. Toe again. Out. In. Out. So we're getting a little more range in the hip. Out. In. Next time it's out, leave it out. This one will be a little more subtle. Don't force the knee. In. Just a little swivel. In. Swivel. In. Next time the knee comes in, the heel goes out, leave it out, and then we hold open and massage that inner thigh all the way out to the knee. Get this whole region open. And let's bring it in. So the toe comes in, the knee comes in. The heel comes in, the knee goes out. Toe in, knee in. Heel in, knee out, and middle. Other leg. Toe out, knee out. Back to neutral. And then in. Now, skip neutral, just go out, in, out, in. Next time it's out, leave it out. Now the heel lifts a little bit and the knee comes in as the heel goes out. Heel comes in as the knee goes out. Heel out, knee in. Heel in, knee out. Next time the heel is out, leave it out. Lift the toe and go toe out, knee out, toe in, knee in. So we're just increasing the range of the hip. Next time the toe is out, leave it out. This one's a little more subtle, but it's still heel out, knee in. It's just a little bit, and then back. So it's just this little corkscrew from the hip. Right, just this little movement. Next time the heel is out, leave it out, and we lift the toe, roll open. This is your maximum. Get that inner thigh. Up into the groin, all the way out to the knee. And then we come toe in, knee in, heel in, knee out. Toe in, knee in, heel in, knee out, and neutral. Okay, now left hand on right knee, right hand on right thigh. So everything's over here. This leg, we go up, open, land. Up, in, land. Up, in, land. It's like a little semicircle. A little semicircle. Again. 2 more. So we're getting clear on what movement from the hip really is. So that the leg is just easy and loose and light. And we're just moving it with ease. 1 more. Foot is loose. Switch. So now right hand on right knee, left hand on left thigh. I'm sorry, right hand on left knee, left hand on left thigh. Yeah. Up, open, down. Up, closed, down. Semicircle. lower. Lift, close, lower. Lift, open, lower. Lift, close, and done. Great job. All right, massage inner thighs and groin, around to your tail and your low back, thighs, back of knees, fronts of knees, fold at the hips, lower legs, ankles, and then come around to the inner and come all the way up, and we're there. All right. So standing up and sitting down. Remember, the key here is we want to get better and better and better at what I often see when working with people is all this effort to try to stand up. They kind of go a little bit this way, but then try to shoot up to the sky. But the goal is effortless, 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 effortless. That means you're using your hydraulic body, your hydraulic power, your liquid power. So stand up and sit down a few times. And again, sitting down, same thing. It's effortless, effortless. I'm just sliding around the joints. I'm just staying very liquid, folding. A little bit of effort forward to get my butt off the chair. And then I'm up. And then the butt back, sinking, landing. And if you ever do have a lot of trouble with this, just bring the chair height up with a meditation cushion or a folded blanket or some folded towels. The higher up the chair, the more it allows you to play with that effortless quality. Last one will stay standing. All right. Now come around to the back of your chair or get to where your hand is on the chair. And we're going to rock forward into our toes a little and then back into the heels. Forward into the toes and lift your heels. And back, lift your toes. Forward, lift your heels. Remember, you got your chair there for safety. And middle. From there, get to where your chair is to the side of you. So you might have to move the chair or move your body. But you want to have an outside leg. This is my right leg. If you use me as your mirror, if you're going to face this way as well, it'll be your left leg that's out. Or if you want to face me this way and see. But the point is here, I want my chair capable of supporting me as I then empty this outside leg and swing it. Now the key to the swing is the thigh getting behind and then going in front. Where a lot of people do this. They do good in the front and then they just bend the knee to come back. And they do the bend of the knee. They don't let the hip, they don't actually move the thigh behind. So let's all take the leg behind here and touch the toe behind. So that's the direction that people fear to go with the leg, is behind, because it forces your body to readjust and recalibrate the balance. So can you swing it forward and behind? Forward and behind. Forward, behind. Forward, behind. And feel that little change in your central equilibrium that you have to maintain. That little change. And it's that little change that is so fearful, that people get so fearful about. All right, change sides, turn, adjust. So let's take the foot back like this, toe touching on the floor. Hold it back there. Feel that direction of space open to you. And then softly swing. Make sure it gets behind you. Make sure it's getting behind you each time. Each time. And parallel, facing forward. In and out. So this one, we don't want to go with the foot, but we also don't just want to lift the leg sideways like this. You're stepping out, stepping in, without going with the foot. So stepping out, stepping in. Last one, change. Out, in, out, in. So even though my foot is landing, I'm not landing. There's a difference. Out, in. It's light. It retains its empty quality, even as I step. And back to middle. I'm going to face you now. Turn the foot out. Neutral. In. Neutral. Out. Same thing, it stays empty. In. And notice that in, the knee has to kind of bend a little. It can't be locked or else it blocks itself. So there has to be that softness in the knees. On all of these, soft. Now do a couple where you skip neutral. So just go open, close, open, close, open, close. One more. Switch legs. Empty the other. External, neutral, internal, neutral. Now let's just skip neutral. Open, close. From the hip. Remember we did those swivel steps earlier, so the brain should be somewhat in connection to this hip. Now you realize, oh, if my leg is empty and loose because I'm using this one for stability, I should be able to move it easily through the pathway. And we're back to neutral. Shogun, wings, palms roll up, fold over top of the hands, settle, settle, settle. This is just a brief moment of stopping or coming to a close or becoming still to absorb the benefit of what we just did. Let the brain process it. All right. Now, again, you might want your chair to the side of you. I'll be facing this way for most of what we do, but I'm just going to face forward so you can see what I'm doing now. Weight shift in through one leg. Let the knee of that leg bend softly so that it takes the weight. Then lift the heel of your other foot. Get to the tip of the toes. That might be it. Or disconnect the foot and then land it back down all the way to the heel. Then change the weight over to that leg. Empty that foot so that you can go heel to tip of toe to lift, then back down without any body weight. Shift. So again, what's important is not just the lifting phase, which is the sort of obvious one, but a lot of times when people put the foot back down, they fall into it instead of being able to place it back down with no weight and then change over into that leg. Then empty foot both lifts, that phase, but then also the releasing, the softening down through, and then change. Up. All the way down, totally soft, change. You got your little espresso cup right on top of your head. And at no point does it need to spill because there's that. Remember what I was talking about at the beginning with the meditation, there's that meditation central channel middle that doesn't change. So it's as if you're just in meditation position and practicing these movements. Now, I'll turn sideways. Now, whichever side my chair is on, that will be the leg that's closest to it is the inside leg. So take your inside leg and place it out in front, heel very softly touching the floor. And then we just roll like a rocking chair into that foot, emptying the back foot or outside leg and getting to the tippy toes of that foot. And then like a rocking chair back, get to the tippy heel, rocking chair, tippy toe of the back foot, rocking chair, tip of the heel. Feel how you're changing, you're trading the work of your stable leg. You're trading it from one back to the other while moving forward in space, but yet you're still able to keep that espresso cup perfectly, easily balanced. Level 2 of this exercise, you might need your hand on your chair for this. Disconnect the foot, land the heel back where it was touching, rocking chair forward. Now the back foot, disconnect it from the floor, reconnect it right where it was touching, shift back. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. So in the beginning, you'll be using your chair a certain amount. Try to be able to gauge, are you using it for 50% of your stability? That's fine in the beginning. Work in the direction of 49%, 48%. Getting to where eventually you're just psychologically needing the chair for an exercise, but you're not leaning on it with actual body weight. Now, coming back, level 3 is not only up, but also knee up. Then softly all the way down, heel touching, shift. Now, this is not only heel up, but also knee forward and up. And then reaching it back, toe touching that spot. That's the challenge there. And then we shift back. So it's leg up and folding at the knee. Soft and relaxed foot, loose. Lower it without any weight in it. Shift, heel, and knee. And then it's that reaching back that throws off our equilibrium a lot. Shift. Up, down, shift. Legs so empty that it can just go up, back, shift. One more. Up, down, shift. Up, back, shift. Great job. So now we're going to change sides. So for me, I'm going to turn around and face the other way, but you might take your chair and move it to the other side. Or as I've mentioned, you could have a second chair on the other side of you, so you just use that instead. So I have to go like this so that you guys can still see the dimensions of the practice. Inside leg should be the other leg now. Heel touching, level 1. Roll, roll back. For level 1, the feet never leave contact with the floor. So either the tip of the toe or the tip of the heel is always touching, but we are very clearly discerning one is full, the other empty. One full, the other empty. Keep doing that, please. That's level 1. Level 2, so that's where we're so empty in that inside leg that we can disconnect, reconnect, shift. Disconnect, reconnect, shift back. And what I often find is a problem for folks is the patience to wait until the foot actually empties before lifting it, right? Because in your brain, you know you're going to lift the leg. So often you try to fling it up before you've actually changed into the other leg. And that's the importance of this practice, is that we have to become sensitive to the fact that, like, okay, now is time for that to lift and lower without spilling the teacup, without throwing off my body. Okay, now I've arrived. I've earned the ability to lift and lower this foot with no chaos through the body. Shift, and then up and down. Because so often we think, okay, I got to lift this foot. As we're going back, we're trying to pull the foot up. And that's very common, you would find in your own movement, that you're 2 steps ahead of yourself. And so this ability to discern, I'm shifting, I'm lifting. Shifting back. I met over the weekend with, some of you probably know the guy, John Argue. Fascinating discussion with him. And he shared with me this quote of, people with Parkinson's are condemned to conscious movement. Conscious movement. You are condemned to conscious movement. So it's a funny phrase because condemning someone to something sounds very, very negative, but conscious movement is the whole point of yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, all these mindful exercises. Let's go to level 3. Up, down, shift. So again, this is heel to the butt, but also knee forward and up. And then you reach the foot back, and then we shift back. But think of that idea, will you accept the challenge and the opportunity that is being condemned to conscious, attentive, ever-increasing attentiveness, which again lines up perfectly with all the ancient mystical teachings of Buddhism and Taoism and yoga, right? We want to become even more masterfully present. And so these movements are just opportunities for that. It's just a gauntlet for training that superpower of the mind, sort of enlightenment. All right. Switch again. So whether you're switching the chair or you have a second chair, you're switching your hand, or you're doing what I'm doing, which is turning, facing the other way. The next exercise in that continuum starts and looks the same. Then we shift, everything looks the same, but from here, this back foot being empty, we let it swing and the heel comes to touch in front. And we do one more little shift. Then we go back, shift back, wait for this to be empty, touch, shift back. You're there. Shift, wait for it to be empty, swing, shift. Shift back, wait for it to be empty, then swing it. Shift back. Conscious movement. Wait for it. Step without shifting, wait for it. Shift. Back. Step. Back. One more, level 1. And forgot to mention today, though I've mentioned before, the bullseye on the foot is the ball of the foot, not the heel, not the toes, not the outer or inner edge, but that ball of foot just behind the base of the toe. So when you shift, you connect to the earth through that ball of foot. When you shift, you connect to the ball, through the ball of the foot. Same thing on the way back, ball of the foot, ball of the foot. Now let's go level 2. Lift, lower, shift. Oh, there's an object in front of you. Heel, lifts, foot comes over that object, put the foot down. Still no body weight has changed. Then we shift. Then the back foot lifts, lowers, and we're shifting back. Lift the foot in front, bend the knee to get the foot going back, reach the foot back, and notice that little equilibrium change, and then shift back, lift, lower, shift. Small object, up and over, shift. Back foot, disconnect, reconnect, shift, wait for it. So accept the challenge that Parkinson's and your practices to mitigate and deal with it are an opportunity for increased attentiveness, increased mindfulness. And that's, in a way, a wonderful opportunity. It actually is a wonderful opportunity to align body, nervous system, and learn how to release. That's the unique part of the Tai Chi training that we're doing. Let's go to level 3 now, which is lift to here, lower back down, shift. Then it's heel to butt, knee up, foot out. So all this kind of exaggerated movement, and then foot down, shift. And again, knee up. Reach the foot back. Back. Up, tuck, reach. Back. Up. Tuck. Again. So again, the unique part that is Taoist, that is sort of ancient Chinese, Taoist, is liquid, is that you can change your way of thinking of the body from meat and bone to a hydraulic system. The key to that is softness, release. So when I shift, my standing leg is soft enough that I can connect to the earth. This leg is soft enough that it's so empty that it moves like a feather. Then I change. My upper body is soft enough, my chest, my arms, my neck, my skull, and all the tissue around it soft enough that I'm not top heavy. I don't feel like I'm going to teeter over to the left or right. I'm through to the ground. Last one. And changing sides. So however you change sides, whether it's change the chair, change your relationship to the chair. Level 1. So we're inside leg. Make sure you switch what leg you're using as the inside. Level 1, we shift, we wait for it, swing, shift. Shift back, swing back, shift back. Shift, swing, shift. Check your teacup. So you're taking this stable, relaxed middle. Remember, this one's the most like how you will walk around your house. Change, move an empty leg. Change, change, move the empty leg, change. Let's go to level 2 now. Lift, lower, shift. Oh, there's an object on the floor. Up and over. Shift. Lift back foot, lower back foot, shift back. Up, tuck, reach. Back. Lift, lower, shift. Little object, shift. Lift, lower, shift back. Shift back. Conscious, attentive, essentially the exact approach of a monk at an ashram spending hours a day meditating. That's the approach we have to bring to this practice. Each step, each movement, each shift. So the whole thing is one constant stream of attentiveness. Level 3, not only lift, but tuck up, lower, shift. Heel up and knee up and foot out and lower. Shift. Knee up. And there's certain brain states that are incredibly powerful. And the act of conscious movement shifts us more and more into these powerful yet relaxed brain states. And then the more complex practices of Tai Chi, like full Tai Chi, that takes us even further. But if you can't do it in a simple way here, you can't pay attention to the shift, pay attention to the step, pay attention to the shift. Right? So this is the foundation that you're building to be able to do more complex Tai Chi down the road. Last one. Great job. Now, we're going to move laterally across the space. Get yourself to the right side of your chair to where you can touch it, but you have some room to move. Now, we're going to break this one into a couple of parts here. So we already know this part. Step without shifting. Step out, step in. Step out, step in. Out, in. One more, out and leave it out. Out. Now, shift without stepping. Shift into your left leg, but don't step your right foot in. And then shift back. This is what we work on a lot in the Friday class, right? Is this change of weight. And feel that when you change, notice I'm not lifting my heels off the ground. So if I don't lift my heels off the ground, something else has to give. And what has to give is this space, what they call the quad. The quad is the pelvic floor, the pubic area, the sacrum area, the buttocks, the hips. That has to give. That space has to open up here for me to float over there and float back. Now, the next time you float over to your left leg, stay in it. Now, bring the right foot in and step it back out. In and out. So we're just using that space a little differently. We're staying fixed, pelvis and left leg. Right leg is moving out and in. But it's just using that same space that we're cultivating. Now, the next time your foot is in, keep it in very close together. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Change to that right leg. Change to the left leg. So now with our legs very close together, can you still find that change? Now you're 100% using right leg. And then can you change? And again, that's happening in this space, this liquid space that is your pelvic, leg, and lower body, belly and back complex there. So this little change, left to right. Now, the next time you change to your right leg, stay in it. Left leg should be empty, so you step it out. Step without shifting. Now, shift without stepping. Remember, we shifted, but we didn't pick up the heel, we didn't do anything. But the foot is empty, so now we bring it in. Step without shifting. Shift, that little internal shift without stepping. Step left foot out without shifting. Notice, did you shift already? Shift without stepping. Shift without stepping. Step in without shifting, without going into your right leg. And then shift without stepping your left foot out. Step your left foot out without shifting. shift without stepping, step without shifting, shift without stepping. Feel that little undulation here in the pelvic floor, this little roll across. And then this stability as you bring a foot in, and then this roll across. One more in the same direction, left foot out. Roll across. Now, foot comes in, back out, we go the other way. So this obvious shift without stepping, step in without shifting, and then change. And then step without shifting, shift without stepping, step without shifting. Condemned to conscious movement. But shift that idea from saying, oh, I have to do that. And really it is, I get to do that. I get to be forced to become enlightened in this lifetime, to be highly attentive to subtlety. And it may in fact be that through the training of incredible attentiveness and mind-body connection, that might be the best mitigation to nervous system disorders. It would stand to reason that that would actually do quite a bit at that level, to become a master of this attentive, smooth, liquid movement. Because it is eventually effortless. Let's go there and back once more. So that's the other bit about it being sort of magical, is that it's effortless across. Light as a feather stepping, effortless change, like liquid spilling. So though the muscles are being used, contracted, extended, and so on, it's in a unique way. It's in a way that is softening, in a way that allows your nervous system never to have to get to that panic state, to be like, oh, I got to hurry up and go do something. Instead, it's like, well, the most efficient way to get there is to stay super chill and just kind of cruise and move with ease. That ease allows for swiftness. So we got to get rid of the speed first. So any speed that you're using to move, like Gary, remember what's happening there. You're kind of just doing this, right? And notice the difference of what that is to this. This, right? Change, out, change. And the reason we gotta get that is because eventually that's the key to swiftness. That's the key to light, easy movement and open space within the body. Any of this stuff just kind of keeps the same stiffness throughout the body, right? So observe that in yourself, that's not as useful as you might think. It might get you there quickly now, but it doesn't cultivate what we need. All right, back to the middle of your space. And let's do our rotational movement. So we're standing. Empty the right leg. Turn the right foot out 90. Now here, shift without stepping, but let your back heel come off the ground and you get ready, and then step the foot parallel. And then empty the right foot, turn the foot out. My right foot is now pointing towards the camera, but my body still points this way. And then I shift, turn my body to point where my toes are, bring the foot along. Empty the right foot again, turn it out. Shift without stepping, and then step without shifting. Shift to the left leg, emptying the right leg, turn the right foot out. Shift without stepping, step without shifting. Go around again. Last person there wins. Not the first person, the last person. Because again, you can clod hop your way around, or you can make sure it's empty, turn it out. Make sure you shift and you're present for that whole rotation. Bring the foot, left foot there without putting weight in it. Then change the weight. Then turn that right foot without putting weight, and then shift, and then step. Shift and turn out. Shift and rotate. After you get around that second time, go to your left. You're going to turn the left leg out 90. Shift, rotate, and square yourself left. Change the weight, empty the left foot, turn it out. Shift and turn, and square to the left. Empty foot, turns out. Shift. And again, the importance of a correct vertical axis is that I can just turn in place very easily. If I've got my butt out and my head back and I've got all this other, weird stuff happening in my structure, then I'm swinging those body parts around in space and they can throw me off. But if I find my meditative line, that vertical line, then I just turn in space and it's like no thing at all. It's just easy peasy. So find your middle. Don't lose your middle. Just take your middle through one leg. Use the empty leg to move. All right. Now we're back facing forward. We're going to do a little bit of the Tai Chi Step. So shift your weight to your left leg and turn your right foot out about 5, 10, or 15 degrees. Shift into that foot, empty left foot, take a step forward, but without letting the foot cross over here. Keep it out a little bit to the left as you step it forward. So there should be, as you can see with my feet, some space between these heels. There's like a little circle of space between that. If I let my foot come over here, I'm on a tightrope. So it doesn't have to be much, but make sure there's some space there. Okay. Now, with that foot in front, it has less weight than the back foot that you're in. Eventually, you want that to be 100 and 0 so that this is truly empty, right? But for now, it might have some. Now, shift your weight into your front leg 70%. So it becomes your yang or full leg in that it's holding more of the weight, but you don't completely empty your back foot. This is a classic Tai Chi stance, 70-30. 70-30. Then shift back 100-0. Can you not lift your heels off the ground? Can the feet stay as if you got some super glue around the ridges of the feet? And can you move from the quad? Can your upper body stay loose, relaxed? Can you move from the quad, from the groin, pubic, pelvic, belly, low back area? Keep doing that a little bit. So right now, take your hands on your navel, stack them, and we're going to the back leg and a little bit into the front leg without doing anything fancy in the hips and lumbar spine and belly region known as the waist. This time, as you come back into your right leg, turn the pelvis a little bit so the navel points slightly to the left corner of the right corner of the room. So you're turned a little bit that way. Now keep it turned that way as you shift towards the left leg 70%, and then turn your belly to point straight ahead. Turn your belly to point a little bit to the right corner. So you stay slightly pointed to that right corner as you shift into your, am I saying that wrong? Left corner, because I have to say the backwards of what I'm doing. Left corner, right? So you're pointed to that left corner, which is the left leg, and then you're sitting back, staying pointed to that direction. So there's this little bit of a torque or a rotation happening. And then when you're in your back leg, turn. so that you're again pointed to this right corner. And if it helps, you can actually point your fingers like I'm doing. I'm doing this to teach you, but if you want, you can. One hand on belly, one hand pointing. Now, as you shift into that left leg, turn to point forward with the belly, and then keep turning to point to that left corner. Stay pointed to that corner as you sit back and turn. And then once you're back and you've turned, then you shift and turn. And some of you know brush knee and push. You're welcome to add that to this, which is brush knee, push. The hands change, shift, turn, brush knee, push. Again, we work on all this stuff in the Friday class. But I don't want to get, I just want to sort of show you that this is something you could work on. And then we would use this to walk around the space. So I'm going to go back to hands on belly for people who haven't really been in the Friday class much. But those of you that have, you could add brush knee and push to this exercise. And just feel that you're sort of stirring up a pot here. You're shifting, turning, and then you're shifting and turning, and then you're shifting and turning. So you're starting to wind and unwind rather than before we were just kind of forward, back, and then we add these different angles and internal rotations. And that's again where Tai Chi goes. Last one there. The next time you're back in your back leg, step back and have 2 feet turned out, like a little ballet turnout. Change the weight to the left leg, and you'll step the right foot forward. Now remember, it's both stepping it forward towards the camera side of the room of your computer, with the toes pointed that way, but not letting the leg migrate this way, keeping some width. So left to right is width, front to back is what we'll call length. So it's got to have width and length to some degree. Shift 70% into your front leg. Belly button points straight ahead. Let's just do this version first. Shift back, shift forward. Try to find 70-30, 100-0. 70-30, 100-0. Feet slightly super glued to the floor, which again, what that forces is it forces the ankles, the knees, the legs, the hips, everywhere else to make more room, make more plasticity and suppleness, rather than if I lift my foot and lift my foot, well, I can achieve this with stilts for legs. But here I have to have melty, supple Tai Chi legs in order to explore that. Now, hands on the belly. When you're in your back leg, turn slightly to that corner, which would be the left corner. Then shift 70% to the front leg, turn the belly to face forward, and keep turning it to face slightly to that right corner. Sit back, staying facing that way, and then turn. Shift 70 into the front leg, turn, keep turning, get to the corner slightly. Sit back and turn. Some of you might add brush knee and push. You're welcome to it. I'll just do a couple to remind you. Brush and push. Brush. Push. And so this loose upper body and all of its many options with this type of work down in the lower body. It's Tai Chi. And there's all these interesting shapes and movements you can make. But it's also about what are we cultivating? We're cultivating a particular quality of brain state that then trickles out through the nervous system, that then relates to the muscles and tissues and structures. in a very particular way. Ease, soft, smooth. Allowing the fact that we are 75% water to be something you not only just think of as interesting, but you realize that actually makes you a hydraulic system. You can actually use the power of the ocean to get things done, whether it be to make a beautiful Tai Chi shape, whether it be to open a door. Right now, I'm just sort of freestyling here a little bit, letting my octopus tentacles move. And all that's happening is I'm turning and moving internally, making circles, spirals, liquid, right? And that just comes with training to be able to unlock the stuck barnacles and stuck areas. But it begins with practices like this. Shift and turn, shift and turn. Next time you're back in your back leg, step that front foot back, parallel your feet. And let's do our sinking chi wash organs, finishing clearing the palate exercise. Arms hang. Tilt to your heels just a little, let your arms swing up and back. Shift to your toes, the arms reach out. Shift to your heels, the hands come to the mouth. Hands come to the mouth, down to the belly. And then the tail sits back and we just sink. Push through the earth and rise. Rock to the heels, the arms swing a little back and up. Rock to the toes, the arms reach way out in front. Rock to the heel, the hands stay together. Rock to the heels, the hands come to the mouth. Down to the belly. The butt sneaks back. And then we just sink the tail and dangle the arms. Push through the earth. Rise back to standing. Rock to the heels, the arms swing back, they start a circle. Rock to the toes, they carry through that circle. The hands turn palms up here, like you're cradling something. Rock to the heels, the hands come to the mouth and down to the belly in one smooth gesture. And then Tai Chi Squat, tail, sink, and release the arms. Push through the earth, stand. 2 more. Back, start the circle. Forward, carry the circle. Rock back, this drawing in of the resource. Middle, hands at the belly, and Tai Chi Squat. Last one. Eventually this can come with such ease. Just soft, like the rolling of a wave. Remember, when the hands come here, they come in, down, and through. And then finally, Shogun, wings, turn the palms up, elbows fold, the hands come over, and this is a gathering or a coalescing, a settling. Down, hands right at the belly button height, navel height, the middle of the middle of the middle. And then we seal the practice. One hand over belly button, other hand over that hand. And just take 3 nice long breaths. All righty. And then have a comfortable seat. Thank you guys and gals so much. Feel free to ask any questions, make any comments. Thank you. So you'll have to unmute yourself.